Call to order the New King County Board of Supervisors, February 24th, 2025 meeting to order. Before we start this morning, I'd like for everybody to stand for a moment of silence for the two Virginia police officers that were passed away in line of duty, Mr. Christopher Reese and Mr. Cameron Gervin. Lord, please look over their families, their friends, their brothers and sisters in uniform. Thank you. Ms. Watkins, will you call the roll?
Mr. Evelyn?
Here.
Mr. Moyer?
Here.
Ms. Pearson?
Here.
Mr. Steers?
Here.
And Ms. Stewart?
Here.
Morning and welcome. And everywhere watching on TV. All right, we have a few changes to the agenda this morning. Dr. Kennedy with Rappahannock Community Colleges will not be here with us. She's under the weather. Do we have my sister's Hope?
I do not see Miss Addis.
Amy. All right, I guess we're going to go down to item 4. New King County Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual Amendment. Mr. Hathaway.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. In the current FY25 budget, we adopted a new rate for our on-call pay. We increased it from $1 to $1.50. That funding is already in this year's budget, so no budget actions are needed for this. But we do need to amend our personnel policies manual that specifically states that the on-call rate is $1 per hour for on-call pay. Currently, there's 2 departments that receive on-call pay. It's a small amount. Our Public Utilities Department and General Services Department is impacted by this. So this is just an attempt to make our personnel policies manual consistent with the budget actions that has already occurred.
Thank you, Mr. Hathaway. Anybody have any questions? None, I entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion. I move to amend the New Kent County Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual to increase on-call pay rate of $1 per hour to $1.50 per hour, and the holiday on-call pay rate from $2 per hour to $3 per hour.
Thank you, Ms. Pearson. Any other discussion? If none, Ms. Watkins, poll the members, please.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Motion pass. Next item, New Kent County Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual Update. Mr. Hathaway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. We have reached out to various consultants for services that involve updating our current New Kent County Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual. Part of this process will include comparing our existing manual with labor laws to make sure we're compliant with all of those laws that impact labor. And then there's some procedural things that we would like to take a look at too, as far as the various types of leave that we currently offer, our performance policies, to name a few. This will be a comprehensive review and amendment of our current personnel policies manual. We are recommending that we enter into an agreement with the Prosperity Group, LLC. They came highly recommended, and actually their proposal was half the cost of the next lowest proposal. Their proposal is for $2,500 a month, not to exceed $10,000. So the motion you have before you is appropriating an amount up to $10,000.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Hathaway?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I've got some. When was the last time we updated our policies?
We did a very light amendment in 2022. Yes, 2022. But we only looked at sections of that. Prior to that, it's probably about 2012, 2010. Yeah.
And do you know if this entity has worked with any other local governments?
We do know that they've worked with the city of Richmond, which was the most recent one that they've looked at, and various departments within the city of Richmond too, because apparently various departments have their own manuals. The city is so large, but the city of Richmond was the last.
Is that who they came highly recommended by?
Yes.
So does the principal of this organization work for the city of Richmond?
No.
And do we have a plan to update this regularly, or is this one big one and then we'll worry about that down the road? Or I know we had talked about that with the county attorney.
It's something that we do need to look at because labor laws change almost annually. So it is something that we do need to look at regularly.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? None. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I authorize the county administrator to accept the presented proposal for the Prosperity Group LLC for the update of the New Kent County Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual. I further move to appropriate up to $10,000 from the Reserved for Contingency Fund for the update to the Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual.
Thank you, Mr. Moyer. Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members, please?
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Motion passed. Next. Okay, I can knock these bylaws out and then
Yeah.
all right. Next item is the adoption of the amended bylaws.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the bylaws as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Any other discussion? Ms. Watkins, poll the members.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Next, we'll jump back up to item 3, development agreement with SPF Investments and Timmons Group. Proposal for City Center Court roadway expansion study. Zimmerman.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Good morning. Yes, this morning you have before you a request to allow the county administrator to sign an agreement, an MOU with SPF Investments. As you might recall, last year around July timeframe, we were awarded an $800,000 economic development access grant from VDOT. And that grant will allow us to examine options and do design and engineering to open up the eastern section of the New Kent City Center property for future development. And as part of that, we were required to have a $150,000 match. So the SPF investments have agreed to do that. So the MOU just basically outlines the agreement and the terms of this $150,000 and what they'll be requested to do in terms of review and of documents and that sort of thing to approve that design and engineering of the roadway. And then also as part of that, which is also an exhibit to the MOU, is the purchase order for Timmons to actually do the work, the design engineering work. for an $800,000. And this is a reimbursement, reimbursable grant from VDOT. So we'll be making monthly requests from VDOT to be reimbursed for the work that's conducted, as well as making the request to SPF Investments for their reimbursement of their local match requirement.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
I just have a few, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Pearson?
Hi, Ms. Inman. So you'll be working with them very closely on this every step of the way.
Yes, ma'am.
And how often will they report out to you?
So we will have a stakeholder group, and so we'll be working with them on all the deliverables. So we'll meet with them, have a kickoff meeting that will include VDOT, SPF Investment, New Kent County staff, Mr. Hathaway, that will be able to be involved in this. And so we'll be reviewing all the draft deliverables, and they'll be able to provide their review and comments on that.
And how often do you think that they'll report to the board on this halfway through, or just at the end, or
We can report out at your request.
or we can give
we're
you a
happy.
call, I'm sure, and meet
Pardon?
with you. I'm sure we can give you a call and meet with you
Oh,
as well.
absolutely, yeah. We're happy to give periodic updates on how we're advancing with the project.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
It's expected to be about a year before we get the entire design and engineering complete. We're going to look at ways that we can actually access, the best way to access that side of the property, and then we'll be doing the design and engineering of the roadway. But the biggest investment in that infrastructure will be the bridge. So really the cost and the design complexity will be as it relates to the bridge and what we can agree to with VDOT, and how that will work from the environmental side of things.
Okay. Yeah, if you could maybe, even if it's just halfway through, give us an update on that, that would be great.
Absolutely, we'd be
Thank
happy
you.
to do that. Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? No other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to authorize the county administrator to execute a development agreement with SPF Investments and the Timmons Group, a New Kent City Center proposal in a form approved by the county attorney for the City Center Court Roadway Expansion Study.
Thank you, Ms. Pearson. Ms. Watkins, poll the members.
Ms. Stewart,
Hi.
Mr. Moyer,
Aye.
Ms. Pearson,
Aye.
Mr. Steers,
Aye.
and Mr. Evelyn.
Aye. Anybody have any other business?
You got some announcements.
No, I just wanted to encourage everybody to come out to the basketball game tomorrow night. Our boys finished 22-1 this year. They had a heartbreaker a couple of weeks ago, and the playoffs start tomorrow at 7:00 at New Kent High School. And also the gala is this weekend for the public safety gala is Saturday at 6:00 at Colonial Downs, and I believe that there are tickets still available.
Also, the Chickahominy Triad meeting is at the Sheriff's Department on Wednesday at 2:00. That's for any seniors that are in either Charles City or New Kent County. So that's it for me. Anybody else?
All right, our next meeting scheduled of the Board of Supervisors will be held on 6 p.m. on March 10th, 2025, and the next work session will be held at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, March 26, 2025, both here in the boardroom of the County Administration Building. The board will also meet for a budget retreat on Friday, March 14th at the VCU Rice Center, Walter L. Rice Education Building, located at 3701 John Tyler Memorial Highway, Charles City.
Mr. Chair, what time is that?
9 o'clock.
It's 9:00, thank you.
And I think we have a closed session.
Yeah, I move to go into closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A5 for discussion concerning a prospective business where no previous announcement has been made of their interest in locating and expanding its facilities in New Kent County.
Thank you, Mr. Moyer. Ms. Watkins, we poll the members.
Mr. Moyer,
Aye.
Ms. Pearson,
Aye.
Mr. Steers, Ms. Stewart,
Aye.
and Mr. Evelyn.
Aye. And once we come out, we will not be conducting any more business.